right, family, I'm back. Got a news report of Mary Dash to the Mary Leader supposed to be allegedly today's date and month, March the 3rd, Wicked Wednesday in my city, Chicago, or Wisdom Wednesday, depending on your mentality. Year is supposed to be 2021, but it could very well be 2020. Who knows? We only the people who came up with this con knows what's going on. I try to be a professional slash realist. You understand what I'm saying? And everything else. Okay? That's not nonsense. Okay, left off Second Samuel chapter 1. I'm going through, what I feel is a similarity of my life pertaining to the book of Second Samuel and Sister Souljah being one of the uh, elites back in the day when I was coming up, and the people trying to discredit me, Mary Lee, you'll get a news reporter and an originator of rap, from ever rising to my full potential due to the fact that I'm worth more dead than I am alive. And I told them that back in 1995 when I gave my voice to Oprah Winfrey again after 1984 at the age of 17. I gave it to her again in 1995. You understand what I'm saying? With my voice to the sound of music, to 3 cassette tapes front and back, and I also gave a copy to the garbage, can, just for whoever saw them or whatever, so the streets could have an idea of what's going on. And because everybody tried to dumb it down like they didn't know, you know, I'm in a trap building right now, afflicted with pain from 2016 when you know the enemy held me down and started shooting me with all kind of diseases and stuff from a needle or whatever whenever they felt like it, while they had me on the psych ward in my right mind and sober 19 years to discredit me, to 19 years in 2016 to discredit me from being the person that I am. And that's more than a revolutionary. I am a trailblazer. I am a, you can't even put a word on it for real. It's more than a phenomenon. It's almost like the last coming or whatever and stuff. You understand what I'm saying? And after me, there will be no more unless the world end. That's how I look at it. You understand what I'm saying? Because when you deprive a person of their true essence and don't even acknowledge them, what who else is going to get me up out of this besides my higher power? The one that made everybody and everything in the world, for real, for real. So you think about that while I read verse 25 of Second Samuel, basically saying Saul and Jonathan. Now, I talked about a young guy by the name of Jonathan who was on the fourth floor of my building. You understand what I'm saying? Where I'm at. I'm on, third floor or whatever. And he used to, when I first got here, he would flood my bathroom and things of that nature or whatever and stuff. He was a little sweet. You understand what I'm saying? And I believe him and Saul, whose name was changed to Paul, and whose name is the guy in my building that run things a little bit in the office. His name is what? Paul. You understand what I'm saying? So Paul and Jonathan knew each other because all this is biblical and a whole lot of stuff. They coming at me all kind of ways. Like Tupac said, me against the world. You understand what I'm saying? You can never underestimate another person's greed. I'm not a greedy person. I knew and always felt there was enough money to go around, and we generated the money so much. It's not about the money. It's just about people losing their mind, I guess, and not getting the proper treatment from all of the abuse they had endured. And if it wasn't for COVID-19, a lot of us would have lost our minds a long time ago. And if it wasn't for me intervening and being the back catcher that I am and stuff, for real, not only for myself, but for the ones who was trying to kill me or who are suicidal, because you got to be suicidal to go against somebody who has tried to help you and even elevated you to be whatever it was that you are now, whatever and stuff. And if you got anything and you had anything or you accumulated whatever, you should know, you know what I'm saying? it wasn't a white person that gave it to you. You understand what I'm saying? They latched on to it because they wanted to come up too, just like all the rest of, you know, the races and things of that nature. So when Tupac said "me against the world," he meant that for real. And I've been doing a hell of a job and stuff, considering I've never, known about the stuff that they was doing, using military tactics to discredit me for being the best that I can be, and that's gonna always be me. You understand what I'm saying? So Saul and Jonathan, this is more proof that I've been railroaded. I use Mary McNamara's, right? So verse 25, it says Saul and Jonathan in life, they were loved and admired. Okay. Now, I always say my Mary McNamara's, right? Now, check this out. And in death, they were not parted. Because, I told Oprah, I said, even what I said, even if I die, I'm gonna be a problem, or I know I'm worth more dead than I am alive. That's what I said. And so, what did Tupac do? He came up with Machiavelli and faked his death, and people been buying into that. So a lot of people want me out of this trap building that I'm at because they want to go with their friends and loved ones and whatever the case may be. And because everybody who befriended me, quote unquote, just to get next to me and figure out the end of my story or whatever the case may be, that the missing pieces, you understand what I'm saying? you know, they think they have it all figured out and they're trying to, figure out how they could finish killing me from 2016. They thought I'd come in here in this trap, you know, spot and just lay down and die. But I've been, putting in more work than I ever have in my life because, like Sister Souljah said, the first law of nature is first, you know, preservation, right? Preservation is the first law of nature, right? So, who you think I'm gonna save? All right. So, verse that was verse 23. My fault. Verse 24 says, "Daughters of Israel reap for Saul, who clothe you in scarlet, meaning red and finery, who adorn your garments with ornaments of gold." Now, the girls, they had the best diamonds, vacation, cars, all that. I've never had a new car, and I'm the originator of rap. Imagine that. Never been on a real vacation. Imagine that. When I did finally get halfway decent living quarters or apartment, they made sure they railroaded me May 31st, 2008 for something I did not do, disarming a police officer. Why? To discredit me and kill me, and so they can continue to live their lavish lifestyle with my money. You understand what I'm saying? See, they blew a lot of their money. You understand what I'm saying? Whereas I've never had $1 million, you know, in my lifetime. You understand what I'm saying? You see where this is going? In my hand, never. The most I've had in my hand maybe was about $24,000, something like that. I jagged that off and stuff because I knew I couldn't live off that for the rest of my life. And I knew, what they had for me, even if I invested it, it was going to be a problem like it is for me now because they wanted to bring in a new world order with all of this, transgender, gay, maybe even back in slavery mentality that they have going on now, and a whole lot of drinking, drugging, smoking, and fornicating. Now, it says, verse 25. Now, I was born May 25th, 1967. My sobriety date is December 25th, 1997. It said, this is verse 25. How the mighty have fallen in battle. So they play a number game. They play all kind of games. It says, Jonathan lies slain on your heights. This is verse 26. I grieve for you, Jonathan, my brother. You were very dear to me. This is, I believe, Saul or whoever. No, the daughters. Because, yeah. Yeah. And it says, your love for me was wonderful, more wonderful than that of women. So, so, you know, when they say women, Nowadays, I think this is supposed to be Women's History Month, and now the women, if you flip that W, is more men because we're dealing with a lot of transgenders and gay guys, and you know, you have to, just know, okay, for real. So when they say Women History Month, that's just more men. Ladies, what did Tupac say? We will hate the ladies that make the babies, because women can't make babies, right? But ladies can. And only a lady can change their mind. Okay, so here we go. Now, verse 27, it says, how the mighty have fallen, the weapons of war have perished. You understand what I'm saying? I'm going to run through this. Now, this is 2 Samuel chapter 2, verse 6. Now, at the age of 6, 1973, I was in Chicago Sun-Times newspaper for standing up for myself because I was a child abuse victim, probably by the hands of men, women, and maybe even children. Who knows? You understand what I'm saying? But that's the truth and stuff. And they try and, discredit that also. So this is verse 6, 2 Samuel chapter 2. It says, may the Lord now show you kindness and faithfulness, and I too will show you the same favor, because you have done this. Now then, be strong and brave, for Saul your master is dead, and the people of Judah have anointed me king over them. Now, if they kill me, you understand what I'm saying? You understand? See, they're going to make somebody else. And that's, now, I've never been nobody's master, okay? I might call myself ML-MACK master because it sounds, kind of cool or whatever and stuff of rap. But I've never, dictated to no one, for real, for real. I'm not about that. Now, this says in verse 8, war between the houses of David and Saul. Now, let's go to verse 10, 2 Samuel. It says, Boaz, son of Saul, was 40 years old when he became king over Israel, and he reigned 2 years. The tribe of Judah, however, remained loyal to David. The length of time David was king in Hebron over Judah was 7 years and 6 months. Now, I was born in, 67, coming from behind, that would be, 76. I do number games, so you have to, if you know me, you know what time it is and stuff. Now, this is verse 13. Joab, son of Zeruiah, and David's men went out and met them at the pool of Gibeon. One group sat down, one on one side of the pool and the other group on the other side. Now, when they talk about pool, I was playing pool back in the day, you understand what I'm saying, up north of my city, Chicago, and, everybody watched me play pool, and the white lady was the last one to want to challenge me, and I beat her, and I stuck my hand out for her to shake it, and she pushed me, and, a fight ensued, and it was hell to pay. You understand what I'm saying? So this is all coded language, and it's a blood sport, because this is it right here. Then Abner said to Joab, let's have some of the young men get up and fight hand to hand in front of us. All right, let them do it, Joab said. So they stood up and were counted off, 12 men from Benjamin and Ishbosheth, son of Saul, and 12 for David. Then each man grabbed his opponent by the head and thrust his dagger into his opponent's side, and they fell down together, so that the place in Gibeon was called Helkat Hazarah. You understand what I'm saying? It's a blood sport. Verse 21, I talked about, let's go to 23. But Ashai refused to give up the pursuit, so Abner thrust the butt of his spear into Ashel's stomach. Now, the word butt is spelled B-U-T-T. In 1995, I said something to Oprah, and I said, but. You understand what I'm saying? And she repeated it on her show. She will lie to this day and say, I'm lying, but it's the honest to God's truth. It goes on to say some other stuff, but if you read it for yourself, that's the main thing I wanted to mention about, Sister Souljah, the similarities that we have. She's a writer. She's wrote books, blah, blah, blah. She's supposed to have been on the Oprah show, but I couldn't find that video. When Oprah started getting scared, she started running and stuff. She's going to run on, see what the end go be, and that's the honest God truth. Peace.